My name is Bob Grecko. I do the voice of Sheriff.
All right, that's official. Well, now tell us about Sheriff. Who is he?
Sheriff is probably the most prolific person in the movie Cars.
Talk about vanity. But would you say that Sheriff isn't really what he used to be back in the day?
Well, Sheriff as a young man was probably a spry character, and as you get older, you learn to deal with reality.
And in this movie, Sheriff is 60 years old. That's not old in my book.
60 is the new 30.
Yeah. And what would you say, and from what the staff says, you are a car dealer. You work at a car dealership.
Correct, yes.
And what do you do there, exactly?
I do a variety of things. I do everything from diagnostic work to changing oil. So it's a variety of everything that's done with a vehicle.
And since you're the best person to ask this to, what is a gasket?
Gasket is a piece of material, whether it be metal or fiber, that separates two pieces of metal.
Oh, so it's kind of like a bookmark almost.
You could say that, yes.
And Sheriff, with him being like a late 40s police cruiser, what would you predict his top speed to be?
Well, probably going back to the 40s and that was part of the prohibition. Some of them cars would exceed 100 mile an hour back in the day.
So Sheriff was a kind of fast police car.
Yes, he was.
But I'm pretty sure that Sheriff couldn't catch up to like the modern day kind of race cars that you would see on the road today.
Not in today's era of cars.
I think back in Sheriff's day, back in the 40s, whenever he was chasing people in New York, or like wherever his first precinct was, he was probably like the top tier sheriff in the area.
Back in the day, he was probably state of the art.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say was your favorite thing about playing the sheriff?
Being the sheriff, being the guy in charge.
Yeah, I mean, like, since Doc Hudson is the doctor and Red's the firefighter, Sarge is the sergeant, you might as well have a law official, right?
Correct.
I mean, every place really needs law and order.
That's part of reality.
Yep. Now, with the exception of stuff, Michael Wallace, who played the sheriff in the original film, he is a Route 66 historian. Have you ever traveled on Route 66?
The Route 66 out west, no. At one time, I think I did travel it whenever we were taking a trip. But I have a Route 66 that's actually right here within stone's throw of where I reside. So.
Well, that's funny. And many family members, like my mother and other people who I've shown your voice clips as the cop to, have said that you sound identical to Sheriff.
I was always told I've got a radio voice anyhow.
Yeah, I mean, even on this phone, you sound like you're on the radio.
I don't try to. I just do what I can.
And the voice you use for Sheriff is just your normal voice, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so there you go, people. There's the voice for you. Well, anyway, what would you? I've noticed in most of the Cars movies, Sheriff has very, and I mean like extra very, bouncy suspension. Is there a reasoning behind that?
That's the way they built them cars back then. They wanted a soft ride.
So
they didn't want them bouncing like a buggy.
Well, that's kind of ironic because in Cars 1, Sheriff does bounce like a buggy quite a lot. I think he probably needs Doc to check that up.
Well, that's all controlled by your shocks and suspension, so...
Yeah, I think because Sheriff's just old, his suspension isn't what it used to be.
That's what wear and tear does to it.
Yeah, and what would you say, Sheriff, what do you say that you and Sheriff are alike in saying that you both like to nap during the day?
Oh yeah, love to take the nap.
Would you rather take a nap at night or in the day or in the night, or do you just not give two craps?
Anytime that's available.
It's like, I know how that feels, though every time that I take a nap at night, I can't go to sleep at the time that I want to get to it. And also, what would you say would happen if you gave an old car such as Sheriff a turbocharger?
It's the new modern technology would make them quicker, faster.
Yeah, I mean, Sheriff actually does have a turbocharger that Doc gave him. So I can understand how he was able to catch up to a race car like McQueen. And, whatchamacallit? Oh, yeah. Whenever you first saw the graphic of Sheriff that I showed you when I was considering you for the role, what kind of dragged you into the character?
Nothing really. I just enjoyed playing that part for you.
I mean, it's a good role. I mean, it's a huge source of power. He is very no nonsense, a bit like Sarge. He doesn't want the delinquent hot rodders to be, messing up his town. Right?
Yep.
Not in his town, they don't. Now, I remember the day that I recorded your first few lines for Sheriff. It was at Melissa's little trailer park.
Correct.
Yeah, and I think I also recorded a little bit of your wife and Brad and Ken as well.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what Brad and Ken are doing now, the voice of Rusty and Dusty.
Oh, I have no idea what they're doing. I'm sure I know he has a antique car that he had, a hot rod actually, but it actually got burned up in a big warehouse fire, and he was trying to recoup and find another one to replace it.
Oh, when was this?
Last year sometime.
Oh, okay. And do you know how old they are?
They're probably in their mid to late 50s, I would speculate.
Yeah, I'd say so. And, so you know how, just like most police cars, Sheriff is black and white. But if Sheriff had the opportunity after he started retiring, if he ever did retire, which he probably won't ever, what kind of paint job would you see Sheriff in that would kind of be as good as the standard black and white police costume?
There's really nothing that replaces a black and white. The black and white is consistent throughout with all that. So
yeah, honestly, in the video games, he has like this mossy green paint job with yellow lining. He has a gray and pink one. He has like a tropical yellow one. Another one with him being black and white, but like he's more white dominant with his hood being white instead of black. And Sheriff has 3 antennas. Do you think any of those antennas still work after those many years?
Oh, I'm sure they do. Yep.
Yeah, and his siren is probably still in mint condition. Although,
Sure it is.
Although, as you could, if you remember from the movie that this is in, Sheriff was having some troubles with his siren going awry.
I'm not sure what was causing that. That was probably something that was shorted internally there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the deal was with his siren, but, you know, at least the High Sheriff himself is there to always take down the hot rodders. Them delinquent road hazards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bruce, Snotrod, DJ, and Wingo have nothing on Sheriff whenever he gets on their tail. Always trust him.
You always got to have a sheriff somewhere.
Yeah, the local sheriff here in Haymarket has... We have multiple sheriffs, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm leaving the viewers to question, now are they talking about Haymarket, Virginia, or Haymarket, Gainesville? Haymarket, Chicago?
Haymarket, Virginia.
Yeah. But anyway, last two more questions before we go. How old would you say Sheriff is? Probably in his 70s, probably, because in the movie, in my movie, which takes place in 2006, he was 60 then. It's 2020 now, so that would make him 70 now.
It's probably pretty close to mid to late 70s now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because he was manufactured in 1949, so by nowadays standards, that would make someone 70.
Right.
And, if, what you call it, the last thing that I'm going to say, before I shut up, is, what would you do if you were sheriff, would you enjoy your life chasing down the speeders?
Oh yes. Mm-hmm. I'd enjoy handing out tickets.
Yeah, nothing better than locking some road hogs into the impound. And
there's always room to pull the speeders and that over.
And aren't those impound parking boots usually made of steel?
Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what cars are also made of too?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. And the only thing, from the rumors I hear, the only thing that can really weaken steel is fire, right?
What can weaken it?
Yeah, destroy it.
The only thing is steel on steel. That's the only thing that really could destroy it. So either that, or if you got diamonds, it can cut it.
Yeah, I once saw a guy who had a Lamborghini. I'm not sure why he did this. He just bought the car. He just bought the Lambo just to do this experiment, and I find him extremely stupid for doing so because he wasted this ton of $1 million car. And he took, those blow torches that you would find in, a kitchen to make creme brulee or anything?
Uh-huh.
He took the creme brulee torch and melted the Lambo to the ground.
Oh.
and I'm like, what are you doing? You making fried Lamborghini?
What a waste of a good car.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what are you doing? That's a good car. Well, anyway, this concludes it all. Give us your sign-off.
This is Bob Grecko signing off.